the reductions, but we're looking at those class sizes going even higher. It would be minimal art and music programming for our students, eliminating an extracurricular, including athletics, clubs, a band, a modification of the middle school model. What we're really concerned about is the individualization of support services for students, because those are the students that need it the most. So that's a priority for us. But we do know that some of that can be modified, but it will hurt students. Decreasing administrative services, and modifying cleaning and maintenance, technological services, and one of the key components that has been part of our success is limited staff development, or staff development opportunities. In this case, we would be looking at limiting some.
You have 145 teachers. How many employees total do you have?
About 300, including part-time. We obviously looked at our part-time people first, and then went to full-time people. It's about anywhere from 15 to 22% in any employee category that we're looking at in reductions. So we tried. One of the things the board was interested in was looking at those reductions even across the board and not overly in any one area. So again, these are tentative numbers and can be modified based on what we look at in reduction.
How many administrators do you have?
With the elimination of these 4, we would have 12.
Now you have 16. How many buildings?
4 buildings. Well, 5 sites with our bus and maintenance.
Was your vote for the February 2 referendum unanimous by the board?
No, it was not.
Okay.
There were 6
and
yes.
I appear, and you're putting this out in January, hoping it's a marketing tool as well as to some degree.
Well, unfortunately, the primary reason for putting this out in February is that
January. Are you going to do this at your January board meeting?
we approved the referendum question you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about this rearrangement of what will happen if the referendum doesn't pass. Is that what this is?
This represents.
I heard you say earlier that unless the referendum passed, you would have to do a lot of things.
Correct.
So then I see what, besides
these are the things that you'll have to do.
Correct.
Has this been publicized?
January, you said, they're just doing it.
This is the first public presentation
Right.
of this.
Okay.
Not till January, and then the referendum is taken.
And when we were doing the 3-year deficit reduction plan for the 2010 budget, we had to find out if we could balance the budget with reductions. So we costed out everything, went to the public with what every program cost was, discussions of subsidization of programs, fees, increased fees. So our finance committee went through a thorough investigation of all that was, and we had meetings with 200 to 400 people there, vying for what they would like to remain, what they would like to go, things of that nature. So in order, once it was accelerated with the 2 borrowings of TAWs, we felt the definite need to say, if there's no revenue change whatsoever, we have to balance this budget in 11 based on the code if we're in financial difficulty. So we would like to work with them, ask, and that's the first opportunity.
Are you a CPI district?
Excuse me?
Are you a CPI district, a district that's affected by the CPI?
Yes, we are.
So that, coupled with, as many of the suburban school districts were, that those late, or Cook County late taxes.
Yes.
And then I assume that because there are late payments from the state, those are all affecting part of what's going on.
Yes, that's true. I think that's really what, in effect, was the surprise for us. We knew we were deficit spending. We knew we were spending down our fund balances. And we fully expected to be attempting to issuing TAWs in the January-February timeframe. Fortunately, circumstances being what they are, we found ourselves in a cash flow problem earlier. Hence the early issuance and subsequent issuance, which brings us before you because of the statute.
How much, just if you know off the top of your head, I'm not asking are you expecting, or should the state be transmitting to you in the near future? Do you have any idea?
Well, at the time when we were looking at the 2008 TAWs, it was about $500,000 on payroll, half of one payroll for us.
We're a relatively small district, we're
Right.
less than 2,600 students. A single payroll is approximately $650,000.
But subsequently, we've received about 75% of that, and we're fairly up to date as anyone would be up to date on some of the payments that we're receiving.
Yeah. There are many districts in,
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
this use the same boat. I just wondered if you were a CPI district.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, I just wanted to, Deb, and I, but on this, are they moving to this plan?
Not the same as the financial profile.
Right.
And you can see down at the bottom of the BACS report, basically, that they've gone pretty quickly from recognition down to warning.
Right.
The 08 is the last annual financial report we've received in. We have not received the district's 09 annual
Right.
financial report in as of this time. So that's why the report says the 09 budget and 10 budget. And you can also see with what we have on file here, they still have positive fund balances, but they do continue to deficit spend with their reports they send Tim. What triggered them for 1AA certification and financial difficulty was the issuance of 2 years worth of tax anticipation warrants, going out for the cash flow and such like that there. And moving forward with what they needed. And it was also estimated that as they go forward, they will probably have to issue additional tax anticipation warrants. So we just was wanting to certify, or recommending certification in financial difficulty so they could come up with a formal plan, basically, that their board would approve, bring before the state board, so that we can hopefully get them back on track before we have to go towards some financial oversight panel or something like that.
And we have done this before
Yes.
with several districts?
Yes.
Yes.
I know we've recommended them, I don't want to be a pawn here, sort of.
We have a couple of districts that are in certification at this point in time without going forward.
And you said they haven't got their annual financial report just as a matter of interest. Are we waiting on many?
We're waiting on still a few. A lot of the ones we're waiting on now had an extension until yesterday.
You are getting more generous than you used to be years ago.
No, it's a lot of difficulties as they're going forward with
Yeah.
some GASB requirements and so forth. But
That's
we do
nice.
have
Fred
some-
Bradshaw would just, that would have been the end of you. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's a couple of the things that
Yeah,
we're going
we,
to have to address in the, we penalize schools because we have guidelines for financial profiles, that, and how we list them, and in many instances, our transmittal of, or the state's transmittal of funds to those districts have placed them in somewhat jeopardy. So, any other questions?
So just a comment. Certainly, it's unfortunate that you're in this position, obviously. You are not the first. Unfortunately, you probably won't be the last one that comes before this board. I think it's one of the fortunate things, though, is that you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody like Deb Vespa. So I guess my message would be, any suggestions she give you, I certainly hope you take them to heart, because she knows this business.
We certainly appreciate her experience, and she can tell you we've been bothering her quite frequently, and are very happy, very satisfied with the assistance.
And look forward to that technical assistance in the future as well.
yes.
We've had a few other people from Lamont who had given some information to members of the board. Don't want to deprive them of the opportunity to speak. So was there anyone else who wanted to comment on the situation with the school district who had signed in earlier?
Yeah, Janet Hughes?